Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us is Sanjana Prabhakar. She's index research specialist with Nasdaq Investment Intelligence for a review on our featured indexes for the month of July. Sanjana, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. Thanks for having me here today.
And as we can see on your first chart here, it certainly was a reversal of fortune nearly across the board for our indexes.
Yeah, and as you can see in the first chart here, we saw broad-based strength across the Nasdaq featured indexes as well as the Nasdaq global indexes. When we look at the Nasdaq featured indexes, we saw average returns of 9.1% and average returns of 6% across Nasdaq global indexes. And what's worth noting that this was actually the best on record for the year. And if you look at the Nasdaq 100 index, it was up about 12.6% in the month of July, a strong reversal from its loss of 9% in June. And the Nasdaq 100 tech sector and Nasdaq Composite were also up 12.6% and 12.3% respectively. And they were the relative outperformers in the suite of the Nasdaq featured indexes. So again, best month on record with better than expected start to the Q2 earnings season, a 75 basis point hike in interest rate by the Fed, which raised confidence in the minds of investors. Yeah.
And if we look at the next suite of indexes, like the green economy, Nordic, and dividend income, the green performance is really what stuck out to me.
Yes, and this suite of indexes that we have leveraged the ESG theme. And as you can see, there was strong double-digit returns across the suite of indexes that we have in the green economy. We had Nasdaq Solar leading the way with returns of 12.1%, continuing its strong performance for the year. And Nasdaq OMX Wind and OMX US Water showed a strong reversal from previous month declines. Given the changes that we are seeing, the new climate and tax deal that was announced called the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, it's likely to act as a tailwind for index performance going forward.
And Sanjana, if we take a look at our next series of indexes here based on factors, you have fixed income options and the Nasdaq Dorsey Wright momentum indexes. What could you tell us about the performance there?
Again, what we see here is broad-based strength across our bullet share suite. All indexes were up, a strong reversal from the previous month where all indexes were down. We have the bullet shares high yield corporate bond 2026 TR index, the top outperformer, posting returns of 5.2%, followed by the high yield corporate bond 2024 TR index, posting returns of 4.7%. And given that there's likely to be a slowdown and inflation likely to peak, it's quite reasonable to assume that investors are looking for higher yield, longer maturity areas, which is reflected in the performance of the top two indexes here. And what's also worth noting is that the emerging market suite was affected given the concerns around the Russian-Ukraine war. So you see them fairly flat. Within the option suite, again, we saw broad-based strength, except for one index that was down. We had the Nasdaq 100 quarterly protective put 90 index up about 10.5%. And within our Nasdaq Dorsey Wright suite, again, we saw broad-based strength with strong performance from the Nasdaq technology tech leaders and industrial tech leaders. These were the two top outperformers.
All right, and let's wrap here with thematic and technology-related indexes. Of course, again, not a surprise to see just how well that the green indexes performed.
Yes, again, a very strong performance across the suite of thematic indexes that we have with all indexes in green. A strong reversal from the previous month where just four indexes finished the month with gains. And what stands out here is the Clean Edge Green Energy Index, which is up about 19% for the month. Best month on record after a strong dip in April of 19%. This is the index that has the likes of Tesla, NIO, electric vehicle companies participating in the green economy. Had other standout performers, including the Nasdaq US Smart Semiconductor Index, up about 16%, and the PHLX Semiconductor Index up about 16%. So these indexes appear to have regained some of the ground they lost since the beginning of the year and sort of continuing their winning streak, their strong performance that we have seen over the last 10 years.
Yep. Certainly great to see some green on the screen for a change. Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Sanjana, for the recap and for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.